Hello. So I wanted to make this video because I used to have a phobia of the telephone. This particular phobia that I used to have was rather a childhood phobia. Some of you in the audience may be perplexed as to why I had a phobia of the telephone of all things, but allow me to give you a briefing as to what I found so scary about it when I was younger. One particular thing was that I didn't like the noises that it made. It made a lot of beeping, weird noises that I felt were really, truly assaults on the ears. Another example would be the woman that would talk if you left the phone off of the hook for too long. She would repeat these lines 3 times. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator. She would say this 3 times. Then there would be an assault of the ears. And I literally was traumatized by that when I was a kid. Now, of course, as an adult, I realized this was absolutely harmless, and the woman behind that voice is named Jane Barb. I researched that name because I needed to face my fear of the telephone at one point, and that was a long time ago. So I wanted to kind of give you sort of an introduction, sort of like an experience, an auditory experience as to what it's like to have to hear these noises, especially when they just feel so unsettling on their own. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to play a track, an audio track that I created in GarageBand using some of the voices and the sound effects that you will hear when using a telephone. Of course, there will be some of my own sound effects that I've inserted in there for, effect. And I truly want you to listen closely and to try to really, really hone in on why these sounds and these voices, especially coming from the telephone, are just so terrifying. And you also have to remember the context in which I was experiencing these sounds and these voices. I was a child, couldn't have been older than 5 years old. I picked up the phone, I heard the dial tone, and it just, oh God, it feels like it's sucking my soul in. And sometimes I would have these same terrors when somebody called and the answering machine would pick up the phone. I would run to my room sometimes. I'm not even kidding. It's not even just like, oh my God, I'm looking this up for the icks. I had genuine terror. So let me just give you all a warning. It's not that this video is going to be scary, but it is truly an assault on the ears. So if at any time you need to dip, that's fine. I respect that entirely. You owe it to yourself to take care of yourself. You don't have to sit through this if it's going to put you through some kind of distress. It will get loud, by the way, so volume warning on that as well. And after the audio track plays, I'll give you kind of like a conclusion, and without further ado, here we go.
This is a recording. Please hang up. There appears to be a receiver on the hook. Please check your name, telephone, and extension. Then try your call again. Thank you. Please hang up.
Welcome back. It's safe now, don't worry. But that was truly terrifying, wasn't it? You can imagine me being 5 years old, of course hearing the mundane sound effects of the telephone, and just that alone terrifies the hell out of me because that's the first time I've ever heard them. Even listening to that track now, that truly gave me some kind of terror in the pit of my stomach. And also, just the very fact that sometimes when I make phone calls and I'm getting a robo message, then I have to press certain buttons to go down a dialogue tree, that stuff really does terrify me still. Just a little bit, and I don't think that fear ever truly went away. But it's there, and boy howdy, it really does give me the spooks, even if it's not trying to. And that's the real kicker here, is that even though these sound effects are not trying to scare anyone, they do. They do scare people sometimes. In my almost 31 years of being on this planet, I never really hear people talking about this particular terror that I've experienced, so I wanted to kind of throw this out there, because, my goodness, I wish more people did talk about it. I feel really alone when I talk about this with other people, like, oh, well, I've never experienced this before. It seems like that's a you thing. And maybe it is, but I just wanted to get this message out there because who else is gonna vocalize it than I am? Anyway, let me know if you feel this way in the comment section. If you feel this way because of the track that I just made, or maybe perhaps you have had the same kind of terror when you were a kid. What if you have the same kind of terror now? Do you have any similar terror of something that is extremely mundane, like telephone noises? Let me know in the comments section. Start a thread. Let me know all about it. Feel free to just ramble on. I want to hear what y'all have to say about these kinds of very mundane terrors that y'all experienced in your lifetime. Anyway, thanks a lot for hearing me out. Take care.